Sahana bhavatu Sahanau bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay, Sairam everyone. We will go over the Namavalis which we have already covered once, and then we'll proceed to the next ones. Okay, Sairam.
Sairam, brother, I have a question about, I know you're going to go over number 17 and number 20, please.
What's the question?
I just go over the pronunciation and how to pronounce it correctly, because there are too many different sandhis in there.
So, okay, I will pause there and I will spend a little more time on the 17th and 18th. You said no?
No, 17 and 20th.
17 and 20th. Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Sairam.
So we will start with the first one. I will read slowly. You can read along.
Right.
Otherwise, maybe I will say it once and then I will wait for you all to practice it once and then we'll proceed on. That's okay. Om Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Babaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sathya Swarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sathya Dharma Parayanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Varadaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Satpurushaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Satyagunatmane Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Vardhanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Janaposhanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvajnaya Namaha. Sarvajnaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarva Jana Priyaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarva Shakti Murtaye Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarveshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarva Sangha Parityagine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvantaryamine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Mahimatmane Namaha. Om Shri Sai Maheshwara Swarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai. 1 second, please.
1 second, please. Hit play.
Sorry, I will continue. Om Shri Sai Maheshwara Swarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Bharti Gramodbhavaya Namaha. I'll just go over, I think sister asked, so I will just spend a little more time. It is Pa Irti Gra Mo Udbha Udbhavaya. So Parti Gramod Bhavaya. You can break it that way also. Parti Gramod Bhavaya, if it's easy for you to master it. Otherwise, if it is too difficult, you can even say Parti Grama Udbhavaya Namaha. So it means the same thing. So you can even practice it that way. Parti Grama Udbhavaya. Actually, and when I had given the original one, I have broken it into 3 words. So you can read them separately also. There's no harm in chanting Ashtottara Shatnamavali with pauses also, because it does not change the meaning, or because there's no rigorous need for you to make sandhi also. So you can say Parti Grama Udbhavaya Udbhavaya Namaha. So Parti Gramodbhavaya Namaha. So it's only the bha which is here needs an extra bit of air. So pa ir ti gra mo id bha vaya. Parti gramod bhavaya namaha. I hope that helps. I hope I myself am chanting it right. The next one is Om Shri Sai Parti Kshetra Nivasine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Yashah Kaya Shirdi Vasine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Jodi Adi Palli Soma Paya Namaha. Jodi Adi Palli Somapaya Namaha. I hope once more I will go over. Jodi Adi Palli Somapaya Namaha. Next one. Om Shri Sai Bharadvaja Rishi Gotraya Namaha. Bha requires extra air here, and make sure that this is the point, the tongue pointing upwards. Bharadvaja Rishi Gotraya Namaha.
Brother,
So
can you go over 20th again? I have a question. When you've broken down into 3, Jodi, Palli, and Sompa.
Somapaya. Somappa. Ma. This is Soma. Somapaya. Somapaya. Actually, if you bring it as so MAP map AYA.
Yeah, that's right.
Somapaya. Jodi Adi Palli Somapaya.
Okay, I got it now. Somapaya.
Yes. So I hope that's fine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we will go to the next one, 22. So I'll read it once and then we'll go over the meanings. Om Shri Sai Bhakta Vatsalaya Namaha. Just pay attention. The first this bha is with extra air, aspirated. The 4th letter in the pa varga. This is ukta. I think all of you know bhakta, so I need not spend. So this is again a compound consonant. Just to read the Sanskrit, I will just go over this. So it's bhakta vatsalaya. So it's namaha. Okay, so this the bhakta vatsalaya is the 4th vibhakti of the simple noun, which is bhakta vatsalaha. Bhakta vatsalaha. I think there is a question. You all can see the screen, can you all? Hello?
Yeah, we can see everything. No?
Okay. Someone says they can't see. So bhakta means a devotee. Vatsalaha. So vatsalaha is one who has motherly love. Vatsa means child. Laha means whatever one gives. A person who gives is called laha. One gives and receives. It also some means that one connects to a child. Okay. So who connects to a child? Who gives a child? Child itself is given by the mother. So one who has given birth to the child is mother. So the love which the mother gives is called vatsalya. So that's what I have put here. Even in terms of devotion, because it's a related word, I thought I will spend on a little bit of time. So you have a word here, vatsalya bhakti. So this is one who has motherly love for the devotee is the Lord. But then this is vatsalya bhakti. Bhakti is devotion. Vatsalya means what is born out of vatsala. So that means anyone who has motherly love or anyone who has motherly devotion is considered a person who has Vatsalya Bhakti. So Mother Yashoda is supposed to have had Vatsalya Bhakti. So you can say Mother Yashoda, Mother Ishwaramba. She always, and there are many other older women who are devotees of Swami who treated Swami like their child. So they all had what is called Vatsalya Bhakti. Just like a mother loves a child, they loved the Lord Himself. So Mother Ishwaramba, Mother Kaushalya, and so on. So I thought I will just introduce that word. So it's Vatsalya Bhakti. It's one type of bhakti, a devotion. So Vatsalaha is some Bhakta Vatsala, you pray to the Lord. One means who treats a child, devotee as a child. Okay. So prostration to the one who has the love of a mother for the devotee. So that is the meaning of Bhakta Vatsalaya Namaha. Okay, so if everyone is fine, we will go to the next one. Om Shri Sai Apantaratmane Namaha. Apantaratmane Namaha. So that this is the fourth vibhakti of the word Apantaratman or Apantaratma. Both simple one. This one is the Mula. This is the root word itself, you can say, the original root word. But in the first vibhakti, you usually would use the word Apantaratma, Atma. Okay. So we'll look at the meaning, because this name, you can break it into two different ways and derive two different meanings. So I will look at the first one. Apa means when something is made visible. Okay, something which is not seen or known, when it's made, the word upper, it's a prefix and it has many meanings and it depends on the circumstances. But in this upper, we will take it as make visible, make it nidarshana is another word Sanskrit would give. The meaning is one who makes it nidarshanam, means one who makes it visible to our eyes. Okay, or shows, demonstrates, or points us to that also can be said. Antara means inner, Atman. So we are saying that Swami itself is the proof who is externally manifesting the Antaratman, which is the divinity within us, is shown in front of our eyes. So the Guru, it's the real Sadguru who shows divinity, who gives you a glimpse of that divinity, so that you can go and find that within yourself. Because of that, this name is given. So Apa Antar Atmane. So one who makes the inner self within us visible to us in front of us. Okay. So that is the first meaning. So prostration to the one who makes visible the inner Atman to us. So you bow down to the Lord because He is giving you a glimpse of your own true divine self. Because that is our Antaratman, which is in everyone, and for each of us to find, we have to see it outside. And just the way, when we want to comb our hair, we look at a mirror, so it becomes available for you to see outside with your own eyes. So Swami also does the same thing. So there's another meaning, so we will take a look at that also. Apa also has the meaning of water. Apa also they will say, but apa is the original root word of water. Okay. So apam means from the waters. Okay, from the water, apam. Tara means to take one across, to cross over. from the water. Tara, Atman. Atman means again the Lord, divinity. Okay. So the Atman which takes us across the water. The waters, what are the waters? The water is the ocean of samsara, this worldly existence itself. So this word, this name of Swami can also mean that. So Abhantaratmane, from who takes us across the worldly existence, that Atman, you bow down to that Atman. Okay. So prostration to the Atman who takes us across the waters of the ocean of samsara. So there are two meanings which can be attributed to this name. Even for the others, there can be many, but this I thought it's a particular one because Sri Kasturi Garuvan in his book 108 Pearls or Glorious Gems or whatever, in that book he has given two meanings, so I thought I will go over that as well. We'll go to the next one, the 24th one. I hope I'm not rushing. If you all have any questions, please ask me to pause.
Sorry, Ramanko. It's just regarding Appa,
Yes.
make visible. Is that the same for like Apara Vidya and Para Vidya?
No,
Or is it
there
different?
it's because para, see, para is the other.
Oh, okay.
Okay, apara means that which is not other is
No.
apara.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the thing is, Sanskrit is a very flexible language. You can look at many ways, but in this, so let me go. So if you look at apantaratma, so upper can have many meanings. That it can have very wrong meanings also. Upper means opposite also. One who opposes antaratman is also apantaratman. So it all depends on our state of mind and state of perception for us to even understand meanings. That's it's a good thing in Sanskrit. It's a problem also in Sanskrit. But in this case, apara and means opposite meaning also. It can give. If you take the dictionary, it will give you opposite meaning also. But that which makes it visible. So the thing is, in Sanskrit sometimes the meaning is derived from the original words. So if you say antaratman is outside, means it is not visible. It's opposed to that itself, isn't it? So from that sense also, apantaratman means that which is opposed to the inner atman. Also it can mean, because antaratman means that which is within. Then how can it come out? Okay, how can it be outside? So that is a meaning which one can give. Okay. So what one can say is, though natural state is that this is a temporary state. That's the reality. Even when Swami takes avatar, Swami will say the body is only temporary. So what you see is only the body. Swami will say you will see the 5'3" body, but actually it is opposed to the antaratma. However, that allows you to, that directs you to the antaratma. So you can say, even though it is not the real self, even though it is not the antaratman, that helps you, aids you in seeing the antaratman. So that's why I didn't want to go into too much detail. So apantaratman means just the way apara is opposed to para, this also has that type of meaning also. Okay, so that's why Swami says you see the form, but don't get stuck with only the form and not see beyond. The whole purpose of the avatar is for us to see through the form, the antaratman, so that we also can see through within us and the antaratman. Okay, so that is because that's why in the world is called mithya, that which is not real. But Swami will say this world has to be used to see the divinity, to experience the divinity by transcending the external creation. So to that extent, it is mithya.
Mm.
So even an avatar is a mithya. But then within that mithya, there is Sathya. So there are meanings like that. I hope I didn't unnecessarily confuse, but what it basically means is, but even though it may be, that's why Swami's form is not there today. He is not, so people will find it difficult. How can a human form be God? But the thing, in that human form, he made us experience the Antaratma. So that is my understanding. I hope that clarifies the question.
Yes, thank you so much. That makes a lot of sense.
Yes, okay. So sometimes that which is not, like, when we look at the mirror, is it our real us? No, it is actually, it's not us, but it allows us to see us.
Right.
So it is something like that.
So can you also take the meaning that the apara vidya is like the para vidya made visible?
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. But the thing is, if we forget to see the paravidya in the aparavidya, then it's a problem.
right.
We should not get stuck, because within the apara, para is contained.
Mm,
The para is contained in apara.
okay.
So in this world, everything is there. In this world, everything which is externally may not be something, but if you just penetrate it, you will see the real thing. So within the aparavidya, you can see the paravidya also. It is contained within. It's just like us, we are not divine, but within us there is divinity. So it's, that kind of meaning happens. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Saira. Even within the black there is white. That Swami will say, in darkness there is hidden light is there. It is that you don't see, something like that. Okay, it is a bit too high philosophy, or maybe. So I will go on to the next one, if everyone is okay. Om Shri Sai Avatara Murtaye Namaha. I think it's pretty simple word. I guess there are no aspirated letters. So Avatara Murtaye Namaha. But the Tamilians can have some problem, because we will say Avadara Murtaye, so we should pay attention. This is the first letter in the Thavarga. Avatara Murtaye Namaha. So the plain noun is Avatara Murtihi. Okay. Avatara means to come. Avatarana means coming down. The act of coming down is called Avatarana. Descent. Oh, I should the comma here. Coming down. Murti is form. Usually, it's referred to a form of divinity. Okay. So Avatara Murtihi means the form of descent, one who has descended. So prostration to the divine form which has come down. It's the simple English meaning I have put. But I think this name is pretty simple for everyone. So I will move on to the next one. Om Shri Sai Sarva Bhaya Nivarine Namaha. The only thing I think you have to pay attention is, I would say, Bha. This is the fourth letter in the Pavarga, which is aspirated. Sarva Bhaya Nivarine Namaha. So the simple noun is Sarva Bhaya Nivari, which is the first vibhakti. The root word is Nivarin, but I thought this is good enough. Sarva Bhaya Nivari. So the meaning is Sarva means all. Bhaya is fears. I put the plural, but fear, it's fear actually. In translation, I have put fears. But bhaya is any kind of fear, all fears. Because in English, otherwise it may not sound right, so I put the word in plural. Nivari means one who wards off or removes. Okay. So prostration to the one who removes all fears. Sarva Bhaya Nivari. So the name Namavali is Om Shri Sai Sarva Bhaya Nivarine Namaha. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Om Shri Sai Apastamba Sutraya Namaha. Apastamba Sutraha is the plain noun. There are no words which need to be, no letters which need to be aspirated. So it should be pretty straightforward. It is just for, I would say, for the Tamils who are here. Sometimes we use P instead of B. Okay, Apastamba. Okay, Tamba Sutraya. I think you can pay attention. Sometimes the su also, there are few people pronounce the shu. So it is su. It's a dental sa, su. Apastamba Sutraya Namaha. So I'm just, because sometimes we don't pay attention, so so I thought I'll just point out if it's okay. So Apastamba is a sage Apastamba. Apastamba Rishi. Sutraha means, I've used the word Dharma text. Sutra means any form of coded language, coded sayings can be considered sutra. Sutra actually also means a thread. Okay, but so generally a text which has many aphorisms. Okay, very aphorisms are very crisp sayings which mean a lot, which needs to be studied and understood. Like Brahma Sutra, Bhakti Sutra, there are many sutras which have been developed by, and they are all dharmic texts. But why is Swami prayed to as Apastamba Sutra? So I will just go through the first meaning and then we will dwell on it. What is this sutra? Prostration to the one who is the embodiment of Apastamba Sutra. So that's the meaning I have given here. So in for every Veda, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharvana, of the Veda Angas, I think sometime back I had mentioned about Veda Angas. One of the Veda Anga is called Kalpa. Okay. So you have Vyakarana, Nirukta, so there are 6 Veda Angas. So if you take this Kalpa, so Kalpa basically lays down the rules of conduct, or whatever is proper way of doing things. So these Vedas have what I call Kalpa Sutras. So for Rig, Yajur, Sama, there are many rishis who have written sutras which are called Kalpa Sutras. So one of the sutras for the Yajur Veda is written by or codified by sage Apastamba, which is called the Apastamba Sutra, which is very, very prevalent. I would say one of the most prevalent one. Many of the sutras which many rishis have written have actually disappeared. People have forgotten. Only people don't even have the texts. Those texts in their complete form do not exist. But there are a few of them which are prevalent. Apastamba, Ashwalayana, Bodhayana, like that. Few Kalpa Sutras are still present, but the number is very small. So if you take a Kalpa Sutra, what does it talk about? Means it talks about 3 different things. They have what are called Shrauta Sutras, Grihya Sutras, and Dharma Sutras. This Kalpa Sutra has 3 sections usually. The Shrauta Sutra means, which Shrauta means what comes from Shruti, any Vedic ritual, how it is to be performed, what are the prescribed rules or the procedures, all these are outlined in what's called the Shrauta Sutra. Then there's something called Grihya Sutra. Grihya Sutra means at home, what are our normal day-to-day operation, when do you get up, when do you have shower, how do you have shower, how do you clean your surrounding, in everything. All the rituals which we do throughout our life, even the weddings or the childbirth that showed us there are 16 types of purification rituals. All these are prescribed in the Kalpa Sutra, and this section of sutras are called Grihya Sutra. Grihya means griha, what relates to the home. The third one is Dharma Sutra. Dharma Sutra talks about how we conduct our life in this world. It can also go into types of punishments and so on. So they are called Dharma Sutras. So Apastamba Rishi has written this Kalpa Sutra. And so what happens is, in each family, especially it's a Brahmin tradition, when you introduce yourself to anyone, so they call it Abhivadaya, means how there are many things which you should mention as to who you are, from who you are, your parents, what's your lineage, what gotra you belong to, what sutra you practice. All these are mentioned by people, because why you mention when you go to somebody's house, you are supposed to mention, or when you go to see someone, especially when you meet a person who is of a higher stature, like a guru or somebody, you introduce yourself, say, I belong to this gotra, I follow this sutra. Why this is done is so that when they entertain you, they will know what are your requirements. Like even now, if you go to a house, you will say, oh, I am a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I eat these things, I don't eat these things like that. You tell about yourself, so it becomes convenient, or not convenient, it becomes easy for the host to deal with you. Okay, so that's the reason. So it's a tradition in the Brahminic tradition. Whenever you meet some a person, a senior person, you introduce yourself. Introducing yourself with these things. So sutra is, what is the rules which I follow? Okay. Who am I following? Like, when we meet somebody, if we say, I follow Sri Sathya Sai Baba, sometimes we may be ashamed to say so, but then the other person knows, okay, this is the way, this is the person's belief structure, this is the way the person lives. So, but in the case of Swami, we cannot say he is following Avastamba Sutra. So I said he is the embodiment of Avastamba. He embodies everything he does is an illustration of the Avastamba Sutra. So that is the way I have given the meaning here. So I thought I will just give some context to this. Otherwise, what does it mean? I follow Avastamba Sutra. No. So if you study Swami's line, he would have demonstrated how a person who is supposed to follow the Apastamba Sutra should live. So this is my understanding. So I thought I will just share. Hopefully, I just covered a lot of material, additional information. I have not put them down on paper, but if anyone is interested, then I will put it down and save the information for anyone interested. So I just thought I will just give you some idea as to what is Apastamba Sutra. So you can say Apastamba Sutra is considered one of the best texts available on Sanatana Dharma. Okay, so we can take it that way also. So 27th name, Namavali. So we will Om Shri Sai Abhaya Pradaya Namaha. Abhaya Pradaya Namaha. So pradaya is the fourth vibhakti, as I said, fourth transformation of a noun, which means to that abhaya prada. So the simple noun is abhaya pradaha. Abhaya pradaha. So the only letter which needs to be aspirated is bha. Okay. So if we look at the meanings, so abhaya. Bhaya means fear. Bhaya is fear. We have seen it earlier also. Sarva bhaya nivarane. Bhaya is fear. Makes non-fear. You know, if just the way in English we have prefix like non or un, un, which gives an opposite meaning. So abhaya means that is negates bhaya. So I have put the meaning as fearlessness. That means the state where the fear is negated is abhaya. Pradaha means grantor or gives. So the daha, I think we would have seen in the word in the name Varadaha. Varadaha. Vara means boon or whatever is high, whatever is supreme. Daha means one who gives. So daha by itself also means gives. But pradaha means he gives in bounty, in great quantity, or he surrounds us with that. Okay. So pradaha that kind of mean. So many bhajans also you will see moksha pradayini like that, you know. So this word comes again. So prada means one who gives. Okay. Abhaya pradaha. So one who gives us, grants us fearlessness all around, at all places, in all circumstances. Okay, fearlessness. That is prostration to the one who grants fearlessness. Yes, Sister Aruna, you have a question. You had to unmute yourself and speak. Sister.
Yes. Sairam, brother. Pradaha, can you pronounce that word again, please? The
Pradaha is visarga. Pradaha. But I'm just giving you. So abhaya.
Yes.
See, abhaya prada is the visarga. Okay. But here you would say abhaya pradaya namaha. So you have English transliteration is also here. Abhaya pradaya. The transliteration for pradaha is abhaya pradaya.
Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Just to stop me, you know, I may just run through quickly. If something is not clear, anyone can stop me at any point. Okay. Om Shri Sai Ratnakara Vamshodbhavaya Namaha. Okay, so there are quite a few compound letters, so I will just go over them. Itna. Okay, this itna with bar, extra bar, it becomes a longer one. Ratna Kara Va Vam Sh. So this show Vam show Udbha. I think we were looking at Udbhava before also, but again it's the same thing. Ud and Bha. Bha is aspirated. Va ya. Ratnakara Vam Shodbhavaya Namaha. So the simple noun is Ratnakara Vamshodbhavaha. Ratnakara Vamshodbhavaha. So let's look at the meaning. Ratnakara. Ratnakara is I've just put Ratnakara here. I have not given meaning, so I will come to that. So you can see it as a person. You can take it as a meaning of something. Okay. Vamsha is lineage. Udbhavaha means one who manifested. So let's look at this Ratnakara. Ratnakara has multiple meanings. Ratnakara means one whose form itself is Ratna, who is a gem. Ratna means gem. So one who contains Ratnas, or one whose form itself is also Ratna Akara, means one whose form itself is one. One who creates Ratna is also called Ratnakara. Okay. So who is this Ratnakara means? One is ocean is also called Ratnakara. The ocean is called Ratnakara. Even the sun is also called Ratnakara. I don't know whether you Ratnakara Kula Deepa, there is I think one bhajan. Ratnakara Kula Vamshodbhava is a name given to Rama also. So Surya Vamsha, they're supposed to have come from the Suryan lineage. So in the case of Swami is born in a family lineage called Ratnakara Rajus, Ratnakaram Rajus. So among Rajus, the caste of Rajus, we are considered a Kshatriya caste. Even within that, there were different Raju castes. So his Swami's lineage is called Ratnakaram Raju. So you can say they trace their lineage to the sun itself, or the ocean, whichever way you want to call it. My preference is to say the sun lineage. But so he has come in the lineage of Ratnakaram Raju. So Swami's name was originally Ratnakaram Sri Sathya Narayana Raju. Or Sathya Narayana Raju Ratnakaram. So you can see surname is Ratnakaram Raju. So that is the meaning. Ratnakara was the name of sage Valmiki also, before he became the sage Valmiki. So I thought I'll just mention those pieces of information. So because Swami has come in the lineage of Ratnakaram Raju, so the king's family, which traces its way back, the sun is what I would say. So Swami has manifested. Prostration to the one who manifested in the lineage of Ratnakara. So that's the meaning I have given. So we will go to the next Namavali. Om Shri Sai Shirdi Sai Abheda Shaktyavatārāya Namaha. So just to point out a few letters, which is this Bhe. Then there's a compound consonant, which is uk, it, ya, uktya. Okay. You can, when you're chanting it, when you look at the meanings, we can go through. That's Abheda Shak, Abheda. So Bha is aspirated. Abheda Shaktyavatārāya Namaha. The simple word is Shirdi Sai Abheda Shaktyavataraha. So I've broken it down into 4 distinct, or actually 5 you can say, but Shirdi Sai I have treated as one. Words and given meaning. Shirdi Sai means Lord Shirdi Sai. Abheda, identical or undivided. I would like to put another meaning, which is undifferentiated. Okay. Shakti is that power, that force, that energy, whatever you want to call it. There's no real good translation in English for the word Shakti. Because Shakti here means a living force. Whereas you don't have one word in English which can give us that. So Abheda Shakti Avataraka. So when you chant, because if you want to avoid this Sandhi, you can say Shirdi Sai Abheda Shakti Avataraya Namaha. That way also it can be chanted. But I just to make it a bit more complicated for you all to understand, that's the way you can see. Sometimes you may find it written this way. So because of that, I have put, because this is Sandhi, because Ukti plus A becomes Uktya. E plus A becomes Ya. E plus A becomes Ya. We have already covered it in some of the lessons before, so I didn't put it here. So Ukti and A becomes Uk, It, Ya. Because Uk, It, and E and A becomes Ya. So Uk, It, Ya. So that is the way that Sandhi comes here. But you can, you can always chant it as Shri Sai Abheda Shakti Avataraya Namaha. So the prostration to the identical Shri Sai Shakti who has descended is the meaning I've given. So undifferentiated means it's not different from the Shri Sai. That force is not different from the force which took form as Shri Sai. So that is the meaning of this. Say, Sai Ram, Brother Kumar.
Yeah, Sairam, in the first word, Abhe, I think that it is a da, right? But then how did it turn into ta?
Pardon?
Now, when you say Shridi, Sai, Abhe,
Yes.
Abhe,
Abheda.
Oh, so the T,
So,
because when I see the letter, I don't know, see the letter on top.
oh, sorry. Yeah, no, it's wrong. I'm very sorry. This is. Thank you very much for pointing out, brother. I will fix it.
Okay. No worries.
Sorry.
Okay. Thank you.
Because yeah, I when I was typing yesterday, I made a mistake. Then the transliteration also went that way, but then I fixed the original, but not the transliteration.
Okay.
Thanks for pointing out, brother.
Oh, no,
Thank you. Thank you. It was a mistake, my mistake. Sorry. So bheda means differences. There's a difference between one person and another person in bheda. But abheda means there's no difference. So that's, thank you very much. I hope. So prostration to the identical Shirdi Sai, the one undifferentiated Shirdi Sai Shakti, which has, because the divinity is undifferentiated. It's the same divinity is present as Rama, Krishna. Swami will say the same divinity is present in each one of us is also. That is not different. It's the same. It's identical. But we are the ones who see differences. So differentiation comes because of the duality in this world. Whereas divinity is all one, unity. So that is demonstrated here as Abheda. Abheda means unity. There are no differences. Everything is one, everyone is one. And that should be practiced, and that's Swami demonstrates it. That's why he says you pray to any form of God, it goes to the same divinity. So that is also demonstrated in this name. So the next one, which is the 30th, is Om Shri Sai Shankaraya Namaha. So this is a compound consonant. Which is the fifth letter in the Ka Varga. Ka, Ka, Ga, Ga, Nga. Shankaraya. Om Shri Sai Shankaraya Namaha. So the simple noun is Shankaraha. That's a question from someone.
Sai Ram, it's not a question. I loved it when you explained it.
Yes.
And it's so much of an essence. My God, I had to put it down because I
Okay.
love it, because divinity is unity. It explains it in one word.
Yes.
Thank you, Sairam.
Sairam, Sister Sairam. So Shankar, I think all of us use the word. So it's again, I have broken it. The Sham becomes Shankara when it's Sandhi. Karaha means one who makes it happen. Sham, I have put the word auspiciousness or happiness. So the Sham has three components in its meaning actually in Sanskrit. Sham means Shantam. That which is peaceful is Sham. Shubham, that which is auspicious is also Sham. One which is Sukham, happiness is also Sham. So one who gives this Sham means it contains all these three. Okay, Shantam, Sukham, and Shubham. Shantam is peace, auspiciousness, Shubham, and Sukham, happiness. All these are contained in this word Sham. So Shamkara means one who makes that happen is Shankara. Actually, dissolution is also Sham, which I didn't want. So when everything, the body is dissolved, we become one with the Lord. That is the work of Shankara. He is pralaya, doing the pralaya. When everything is dissolved, everything is destroyed. We may think it's destruction from the sense of a worldly perspective, but for the Lord, He is making everything one. So Shamkara, prostration to the one who makes auspiciousness. His work itself is doing auspiciousness. So I couldn't come up with anything else. So I said makes or does auspiciousness also, you can say. One who makes auspiciousness come into being. And that is the Lord. So Om Shri Sai Shankaraya Namaha.
Oh, Sairam, uncle. I remember you had given a similar meaning for sam in samskara. Is that sam the same as this?
Yes, yes. It's the same.
So can you also pronounce it like sankara or?
Okay. Samskriti. See, in Sanskrit, you can say, but I think the meanings are slightly different from the sham and sam. In this, that's why I use the word the samskara. The dissolution is missing.
Oh,
Okay, in this, the dissolution is also included.
okay.
Okay, this is the ultimate purification. Normal samskaras is related to the world.
Mm.
So you just purify, external purification is samskara. This is sam is full thing, everything included.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you can say sankara also, but that only will relate to external. Okay.
Okay.
It's just subtle meaning. It has the similar meaning, but see, many times you will find in Sanskrit the sound have similar meaning when you say sha and sa, but the meanings get slightly changed. So this also means you destroy us and make everything pure.
Mm.
Okay, so it has that meaning. Okay. This is samskara which you're talking about, just external, you clean everything, make everything good. But in that, the external world, it does not necessarily relate to the internal world.
Mm.
Here, internal world, the only purification is dissolution and merger. This name denotes that also.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it the same for Shambho?
Shambhu, it's, you can say, because Shambhu is one who is, Shiva is called Shambhu. If you look at Shiva, he has many manifestations. One, they will say he's doing Rudra Tandavam, but at the same time, Shiva is also doing meditation all the time. Okay. And he is easily pleased also, they say. Shambhu means one who is easily pleased.
Mm.
Okay. But he is always in that state of, see, that's why Shiva always resides in the burial ground. So for him, that is the ultimate purification. Because the ego is also purified, cleansed. Only then there's auspiciousness. That's where Shiva resides in the burial ground, and he applies the ash of that which is all burnt. Because that's the ultimate auspiciousness, is that. That's why we have Vibhuti, which is also auspicious, which is actually ash. So this Shankara denotes that also. Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Sai Ram, brother, I have a question now.
Yes, sister.
Since we were talking about Sh and then Sham, I know in Hindi it says Shamshan means, the burial grounds, the cremation grounds. Can you explain the meaning of Shamshan,
It's the
please?
same.
Thank
Actually, the Sanskrit word is smashan. Shma.
Shma.
Okay. So the thing is, it's the same thing, because that is what they call a derived form. Vikruti. Vikruti means slightly, I don't know, it's changed form. Okay. That's why you call Shamshan, which basically Shmashan. Shma is the same thing.
Okay.
That's what, you burn everything, including the ego.
Shan means the ego, and
Shmashan means the place where it's burnt is Shmashan. So that is the place where you are burnt to purity. The body it's a purification. Even the burning of the body, cremation itself is actually purification. Because you don't want the bacteria, even from a worldly perspective, it is burnt, but it is ultimate destruction of the existence as a person, differentiated person. That's why Shmashan, it's Shmashan, yeah. So as you can see, the same sounds come. Sh, both of them come, and that's why it is.
Thank you. Thank you for explaining.
Okay, Sairam. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sairam, brother, can you go over on number 28 again, please?
28.
Anuswara you are using on one thing. I couldn't pronounce it.
Okay.
I'm not good at it, but I'm just trying to.
No problem. No, it's okay.
28, please.
28. Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
You're talking about the Vamsha, isn't it? Vamsha. So Anuswara, I think we have discussed before. Anuswara is something which can change in how it's pronounced. Okay. So it is usually used as a replacement for
That's what I'm confused with that.
Okay, so it can be Anuswara is a replacement for in some sandhi. When you bring together, you can use Anuswara. But I could have put also here, half ma, but I put it here because it's because many places this is the way it's written, typed. So I just left it like that. You can use both of them as interchangeable, and Anuswara in many places, but in some places the Anuswara takes on a slightly different pronunciation. So, for example, if you the word Shankara here, I could have used Anuswara here also. But the thing is, I just wanted to point out that if I put Anuswara, people may even pronounce it Shamkara. See, you can, this has become See, I could have made it an Anuswara and put as a dot at the top, above sh, and I would have put ka.
But in this case, the is the letter itself has that, right?
Because of sandhi, that Anuswara became
Oh, okay.
See, this becomes, both of them are interchangeable, I said, okay. So the and Anuswara are interchangeable to a great extent. But here, because just before ka it comes, so it should be pronounced as
Okay.
So because of that, I have put the nasal sound there, nasal consonant. Okay, fifth consonant.
Thank you, brother. Okay, what you have mentioned that you can write differently that 28. Well, how you would have written that? That's how we can pronounce them. The 28.
28th
Back,
Ratna.
yeah, yes.
So, I could have put how to write that new.
Yeah,
You asked.
differently.
Okay, just give me a minute.
Thank you.
I'll just pause.
Then I wanted to say that can be pronounced.
So you can see. You can write it like this also. Okay.
Yes, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think if you're okay, then I will go to the next one. So this is a pretty simple one, but Om Shri Sai Shirdi Sai Murtaye Namaha. Shirdi Sai Murtaye Namaha. The simple noun would be Shirdi Sai Murtihi. So Shirdi Sai means all of us know Lord Shirdi Sai. Murtihi means one who has the form, who is the same. Okay, I've just put who has the form, but prostration to the one who has the form of Shirdi Sai. That's simple translation I've got. With nothing but you are Shirdi Sai. You took the form of Shirdi Sai. You are now this. It's that kind of relationship. So because it's Abheda Shakti. So you can see many of these, sometimes same concepts get repeated with different words. However you want to visualize and pray. Okay, so the next one is Om Shri Sai Dwaraka Mai Vasine Namaha. So just we have to make, I think all of you know, Dwa is here, it's the compound consonant. Dwaraka Mai Vasine Namaha. So the simple noun would be Dwaraka Mai Vasi or Vasin. Vasi is the first vibhakti, Vasin is the original root word, Mula Padam, but both are same. So I'm just sticking to this now. Dwaraka Mai. Dwaraka Mai is the name of the mosque in which Lord Shirdi Sai stayed. He gave the name to that, it's only Lord Shirdi Sai can do. He was living in a mosque and he has called it Dwaraka. He worked on unifying, or at least bringing some unity among devotees. I don't think that happened completely, but he put the seeds of unity. So who reside in the Dwaraka Mai, Vasi, who's a resident. Even now he resides there. So it's a recognition that Lord Swami is actually living in Dwaraka Mai also. If you go to Shirdi, there is mosque and he is actually still a resident there. Prostration to the one who is the resident of Dwaraka Mai. So we'll go to the next one, the last one which I had chosen for today. 33rd name, Om Shri Sai Chitravati Tata Puttaparthi Viharine Namaha. So the simple word would be Chitravati Tata Puttaparthi Vihari. So if you look at the meanings, Chitravati is the river Chitravati. Tata is the banks or the bank. I don't know if you can say bank, but because bank means people think banks where we work, so I put plural. So Puttaparthi is the village Puttaparthi. Vihari. Vihari means one who plays, runs around, roams around, that kind of meaning. One who is always moving about. So Swami moved about in Puttaparthi. Just like Brindavana Vihari, Krishna, ran around in Brindavan. Okay. And so the same way Swami ran around in Puttaparthi. So it celebrates Chitravati and Puttaparthi as holy grounds on which the Lord dwelt and moved about and roamed around. Okay, Vihari means one who moves about or roams around. Prostration to the one who moves about in Puttaparthi on the banks of river Chitravati. So that's what I have here. It should be pretty straightforward. But it's an opportunity for you to read it in Sanskrit. I think many of the names may be known to you, meanings may be known to you, but I hope my talking about it is not a repetition. So that's all I have for today. If there are any questions, we can discuss. If you want anything to, yes, brother Dasan.
So, brother, 32. The meaning of Dwaraka Mai, can you explain? In my understanding, is Dwaraka and the Mai, can we take it as the mother?
Yes, brother.
Okay. Any other meaning, brother?
No, because the place where we live is mother. So we call the mother the land because it nourishes us. Even our homes are mothers. Our land is mother. Anything which nurtures and nourishes is. So in this case, Dwaraka means that the mother who is Dwaraka. Dwara also means that is the entrance. The entrance to paradise is Dwara. Dwar means opening. So the mother who is actually takes us back in, she is the door through which we go. That mother. That entrance to heaven. That is Dwaraka. Okay, but it's mother side.
Thank you, sir.
Because when we go to a building, for example, we go to the center. When we go to the center, we should feel we have gone into the womb of the mother. In the womb where we become a child which is growing in spirituality. Every time we enter that womb, we should say we have entered into the womb, so that when we come out of that womb, we should be spiritually evolved beings. That is why you go into Prasanthi Nilayam, you think it is the mother into whose womb I am going. When I come out, I should be a child born of that mother. That is why Lord Shivri Sai gave that meaning, Dwaraka Mai. Good that you asked. I did not want to dwell. So these are ways in which when we say the name, we can right away, you puja room, you go, you say this is the mother, this is the womb of the Lord, where I grow in spirituality. This mother is nourishing me. All these feelings, if they come, when you say this name, it won't be just a name, just mere words. It is the feelings it invokes in us. So Dwaraka Mai is anywhere place where we can grow in spirituality, like a fetus, from small steps. That is the Dwarkamai. It's not necessarily the mosque there, it's everywhere where we find spiritual growth. It's Dwarkamai.
I don't know.
Yes.
27th line, we had this Abhiya Pradaya. The A, if you put an A in front, even in Tamil.
Yes, opposite.
It's a big
negative. Yes, sir.
Anamadeyam.
Yes.
Everything is like the same. The A gives the meaning in Tamil also.
Yes, in all Indian languages, Auntie.
Mm.
Actually, in English also comes from A.
Oh, maybe.
Even in English, there are words where you put A and it means opposite.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
See,
you.
that's why all languages came from the same source.
From Sanskrit, is that?
That's been the original. The Sanskrit actually is the original source from which all languages arose.
Were derived, yeah.
Derived, yes, because after all, it's divinely provided.
Thank
you. That is why there is no one with mother tongue Sanskrit in this world, because everyone's mother tongue is Sanskrit actually. The Adi mother. So that is why no individual says my mother tongue is Sanskrit. But now people have learned and they identify, but they may have originally spoken some other languages. But that's the reality which Swami has spoken about. Because yes, Sanskrit gave rise in different places. It gave rise to different languages. Like sister was talking about Shamshan. She was telling it's Smashan, but the word changes in Prakrita languages. Prakrita means raw languages. Thank you, Auntie. So if there are no other questions or comments, I think we can. Oh, yes, Kalyani, please go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know if this is a silly question, but you said that Ratnakara means sun as well. Like,
yes,
is there some relationship between the meaning sun and also the meaning like the gems? Like, is it because how is the sun related to the gems?
Okay. See, all the gems emit light. Okay. So the gem itself is given value by the sun.
Oh, okay.
For example, if you take any gem, it is dark in color, black in color. Okay, in its raw form. Then you polish it. Then it's able to shine, but the shine comes from the sun. Okay. The ocean produces. Okay, the ocean means how does the ocean produce? Also, we can ask, because all ocean it's a phenomena. Because what it does is it moves things around. Water move things around. The stones take shape. It creates pressure. All sorts of things. So the gemstones are produced in the womb of the ocean. Okay, that process, natural process. We think only the ocean means just the seashore, a sea, but there's a process involved. So that also produces, but then it comes to life only through sun. Okay, even if you take a jenny jewel, if it is shining, if there's light coming out, that light which you call ratna is actually sunlight reflected there, or it passes through that. That is why sun is the creator of the gem.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, because each actually, if we can go into Ra, Tha, Na, Ra is actually fire. The fire is produced by sun. So things like that we can go on and on. I don't want to dwell on. Okay, so but that's what it is. Okay, I hope that makes you. The fire which makes the Tha go away. Na. Ra is fire. Tha is tamas. Na means no. Okay. Ra, Tha, Na. Tamas removed by fire. Ratna. So we can break Sanskrit to each letter. Like Swami will say, Rama means Ra. Ra is fire, is Agni, Ra also symbolizes sun. And Ma is Soma, it's cooling. So Rama has three principles, Swami says, the sun, fire, and the moon principle. So, one, Swami gives many meanings like that. Then he says, the one will burn the sins. The sun will enlighten you. Ma will be cool. Moon is cooling. All problems. Shapa, Tapa, Papa. All these three are removed by the name Rama, Swami says. So, that way also we can look at it. I hope this is good enough for now.
Yes, thank you.
Otherwise we can just spend one name for one session. Talk about spiritual philosophy in each of them. But, I just want to start you in the process so each person can do their own self-study. That's called Swadhyaya. And you will find meanings. If you ask me which book, over a long period of time reading or listening to Swami, most of what I've learned is thanks to Swami, leading his discourses, reading his Vahinis or listening to his discourses. So I hope that gives you, how sun produces. Because the sun's rays have a lot of effect on the world. How is the plant growing means it's because of the sun. Why is the plant drying? It's also because of the sun. How the photosynthesis takes place? Because of the sun. The food is produced. So everything in this world is also created by sun. I am alive and I am able to speak because of the sun. I may not know the mechanics or the scientific process, the processes which go on, but I will not be able to speak and you won't be able to listen without the sun. Okay, so Sairam.
Sairam, thank you.
Sairam. Sairam, brother Sairam. Okay, we will close for today with Samastaloka. It's already 10:24 and there are no questions, I hope. If there are questions which you come up with after going through the material, I know I'm trying to cover 12 names each time. I hope it's not too much for you all. Otherwise, it will go on for months, this. I don't want to drag on for too long. So I will stop here. We will close. Silent.
Thank you very much.
Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Samastaloka sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam, everyone.